everyone! So a lot of people from my last video I posted on Facebook and my Instagram requested that I should do a how-to eyeshadow look, like how to blend, how to blend colors together. So, and I want to break it down with very simple steps. A lot of YouTubers on YouTube go way into detail that's not needed, and it just ends up confusing you even more. So what I'm planning to do today is do something completely simple. As you can see, my face is already done. I have my eyebrows, contour, blush, highlights already finished. So today I'm just going to show whoever's watching how to blend eyeshadow beautifully and seamlessly. I've been doing makeup since grade 9, which is now going on to 5 years that I've been heavily doing my makeup. And so I've had a lot of practice with eyeshadows, especially brown smoky eyes. That's like my go-to. Brown hair, brown eyes, brown smoky eyes is my thing. So today I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam eyeshadow palette. This is a really good luxury palette for beginners because it's literally all neutrals. Every single one is a neutral color. And these shadows are really easy to work with and really easy to blend. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do before anything else is decide whether or not you want to do your foundation first or your eyes first. I personally usually do my foundation first, then my eyes. That's what I did today. But you can also do your eyes first and then your foundation, especially if you're doing something dramatic. But that's not what we're going to do today. Okay, let's get started with the actual eyeshadow. So first you want to grab a really big fluffy blending brush like this. This one is rather large. This one is the Morphe JH30 brush, and as you see, it is very, very big and fluffy. It's like the size of my eyeball. But this brush is mainly used for your transition shade. Now, a transition shade is the first eyeshadow color that you put down on your eye, and that just lets all of the next eyeshadows you put on blend seamlessly together and create that beautiful smoky shadowy effect. An example of that in Soft Glam is these two colors right here. These is what you would call a transition shade. I like to blend these two together. The shades Orange Soda and Burnt Orange together. So that's what we're going to start off with today. So you're going to dip into both those colors with your fluffy brush. Now, every time before you go onto your eye, you want to tap off the excess product. To do that, take your brush. Ready? See how that dust that came off? If you had put that right on your eye without tapping it off, it would have created a huge mess and made it much harder. So the secret to beautiful eyeshadow is taking your time and being precise. You don't just want to blend it all over the place. It'll just be messy. You have to be precise with it and take your time and start light. That's what the transition shade is for. So I still have product on this brush. So now I am lightly going to start in the outer part of the crease. The crease is where you can feel the bone of your eye socket right here. That's where your crease is, where my pinky is. And that's where you want to put your light brown transition shade. So you're going to start right here and very lightly start with circular motions. And you want to hold your brush at about here. You don't want up here, and you don't want at the tip. Right in the middle is the perfect place to hold your brushes. So you're going to start with circular motions, starting right at the edge, and then using windshield wiper motions, you're going to blend this throughout the crease. Now the transition shade it's okay to be a little messy with this because it's very light. However, once we get into more darker browns, we're going to use more precise brushes and more precise application. So we're going to take your big fluffy brush, using windshield wiper motions and circular motions to blend this color everywhere. Now I personally blend this color almost all the way up to my brow. And now I like going in with a second layer with these two colors. So again, tapping into the product, tapping off excess and going back in. See how that adds a beautiful, nice color? Now you can totally put eyeliner and mascara on and you're out the door. This could be totally fine for a very natural, pretty look. Okay, we're gonna put this brush down for now, but we're gonna keep it close by because we're probably gonna need it later. Next is to go to a slightly darker color. For that, you want to grab a slightly smaller blending brush than you had before. This is the Morphe M441, and comparing these two, you can see this one's slightly slimmer, and a bit more tapered at the top, and more precise, while this one's more fluffy. Now this particular brush I love using for that next darker color. So I'm going to take this brush, and we're going to go into the shade Sienna, right here. Taking this brush lightly, dipping into the product, like so, and then we're going to tap off the excess. And now we're lightly and slowly going to add this to the crease because this is a much darker color than the first color we placed. So very lightly, we're going to start slightly below where the orange color that we put down ends, and we're going to put this below it lightly using the same windshield wiper motions. And when you're blending, you don't want to put too much of the dark color up here because that'll bring your eyes together. So when you're doing your eyeshadow and you have your mirror right here, mine's right here, you can see the light coming up on my face. Tilt your head back and lift your brows slightly. That'll lift the skin up and prevent you from getting too much color up here. Now I don't want to complicate this too much, so I'm not going to bring the color out like this. I'm keeping it with my natural eye shape, just to enhance the natural shape of my eyes. We're not changing it anyway. That's more difficult to do, and more something you want to try when you've got this down. You got this first stage of eyeshadow blending down. Now as you can see, I'm not going as high up as I did with the previous color because I want it to be layered going down. So lightest ends up here, and then the darkest ends here, and then a little lower, and then a little lower. These eyeshadows are also really easy to work with, and they're not overly pigmented, so you don't end up getting carried away, and then it just turns into a big mess. Now going back into the first brush we used that has a little bit of the previous product on it left, we're just going to go over the edges to get a beautiful blend, so there's nothing harsh. You don't want to see the line of each color. Everything just needs to blend seamlessly. So that's why whenever you put a new color down, you take the brush before that and you blend it. By the time I'm done with my mattes, you'll see me use all my brushes backwards to blend everything out beautifully. So I'm keeping this bigger brush near the top to blend out the line. See that? See how seamless that is? Now we're going into one of the darkest shades, and for this I want to use a tiny little blending brush like this to be nice and precise. This is the Morphe M506. Now this brush is great for precision work right in the crease. As you can see, it is a lot smaller than the other two brushes we used today. So now in the palette, we're going to dip into the shade Cypress Umber. It's a dark brown. It's the second darkest shade I would say in this entire palette other than the black. We're not using black today, don't worry. That's for advanced techniques. So you're going to dip to Cypress Umber, tap off excess, and then we're going to go in right in the outer corner. Now you don't want to bring dark colors all the way up here. It's just going to become a big mess. You want to keep darker colors more tucked into the outer V of the eye, and that'll just give the eyes a bit of a lift, more of a smoky effect. So taking this color, we're lightly tapping it on first. When you're using dark or really bright neon colorful colors, You want to pack them on first, not blending, packing, so tapping on the product where you want it. So I want it just on this outer part, like so. So I place the color down, but see how it's not blended? Then once most of the color is off my brush, I'm going to tap it on my hand. And now we're going to lightly start blending it out. And I'm keeping it right in here. I don't want to go up any further than my actual crease. And I'm being very, very light, barely touching my skin. Now remember when I said you want to start using your brushes backwards once you have your color down? Now I'm going into the second brush I used today. This still has a little bit of product left on it. And we're going to go lightly above where we put the darkest brown to blur out the edge where the color ends. So it blends beautifully into the second color we used today. See how that made it blend a lot more? It looks more like an ombre effect. So you don't want to put this brush onto the dark part because that will just brush it away. You want it just above. And then we're going to take the first brush we used today and go right over all of the colors near the brow to blend everything out beautifully. Now, we're going to do the lower lash line. You don't have to, but I find that doing a little eyeshadow underneath the eye just pulls the whole look together. So I always start with usually the second brown color that I used. So we're going back into the shade Sienna, lightly taking it on a pencil brush like this, something small. This is the Morphe JH38 brush. And again, tapping off excess and lightly, barely touching our skin and keeping it as close as we possibly can to our lash line. We're going to blend it underneath. So this may be hard for beginners, especially if your eyes are very sensitive and they water easily. So just take your time, go slow as you need. There, see how that pulled the whole look together? And that's all the color I'm doing under there today. Now I'm lightly taking this brush again and just quickly going over the edges so it's not as sharp of an edge. And we're making sure that we connected the bottom part of the eyeshadow to the upper part so it looks nice and seamless. Okay, now we're getting to my favorite part of eyeshadow, the shimmer shades. So what you can do is you can take a flat brush like this. This is the Morphe JH41 flat brush. Now there's two different things you can do. No, three different things you can do. So you can go into your palette, take a shimmer with a dry flat brush like so, or spray it with a setting spray first, then go in and I'll make the color more pigmented and vibrant, or you can just use your finger. I personally like using my finger, and I think that's the easiest way to put on a shimmer shade. Your fingers and your hands are your best tools in makeup. You don't need all these fancy brushes. So you can skip on this flat brush completely if you wanted to. So now I'm going into the shimmery shade called Bronze. Taking that with my ring finger, your ring finger is the most gentle out of all your fingers. Have it on my finger, like so. And we're gonna lightly tap it right in here. Right in this area here. We don't want shimmer up in the crease or in the outer corner. We want to keep it in the inner part of the eye. So I'm lightly gonna tap on this shade all over my lid. Now the shimmer is very pigmented, so be careful. Take your time. I'm taking a little bit more and placing it on my eye, like so. And as you see, I have a little bit of follow under my eyes. No big deal. Take whatever powder brush that you used wipe it away. Now I like taking the blending brushes I used before and lightly going over just where the shimmer ends and the matte colors begin, just to blend everything out seamlessly. Now this next 2 steps are optional. You can stop here and add your mascara, but I am going to do the optional step of adding inner corner highlight and brow bone highlight. And I will show you how to accomplish that. So taking a very tiny pencil brush, I'm going into the lightest shade here. Well, not the lightest shade. We're into the shade Fairy. I'm taking it, tapping off the excess on my inner corner. Putting a really light shimmer in the inner corner just brightens the eye. And then taking a very small flat brush, like so. This is the JH42, and the pencil brush I was using was the JH39. Again, going into the same shade, Fairy, and putting it on my brow bone. Like so. As you can see, that's pretty much a completed eye. Smoky eye. See, it wasn't too hard. So I will be right back. I'm gonna do my other eye on camera and my mascara off camera, and then we'll finish off this video. Hello, and we're back. I finished my other eye, applied some mascara, and put on some lipstick and some lip gloss. So that completes the video. You don't need to do really any more than this. Add a bit of mascara after you're done with your eyeshadow. You can add eyeliner if you want, but that just adds an extra step, and that could be especially stressful for beginners. So don't think you have to put on fancy wing eyeliner, false eyelashes. Mascara is fine until you get used to the blending process of eyeshadow. As you can see, this is a really beautiful, natural, brown, gold, smoky eye that literally anyone can wear. And yeah, I think that completes our video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to ask requests for something else. Would you like a dedicated skin video, like how to apply foundation, powder, contour, blush, highlighter, bronzer, or how to do your brows, or how to do wing eyeliner, how to make your makeup last all day? I'll be happy to do any of those in the future. Alright, that's it.